On November 12th, Caitlin Clark stepped up to the first tee at Pelican Golf Club in Florida, sliced her drive to the right, and couldn't have been happier about it. That might sound strange until you understand where she's been for the past 4 months. Just a few weeks ago, nobody was sure if Clark would even be playing basketball again this season, let alone swinging a golf club in front of thousands of fans. The woman who never missed a single game during 4 years at Iowa or her entire rookie WNBA season had just endured the most difficult stretch of her athletic career. So that wayward tee shot? It represented something much bigger than a round of golf. For anyone who might not follow women's basketball closely, Caitlin Clark is the Indiana Fever guard who took the WNBA by storm in 2024. She was the #1 draft pick, won Rookie of the Year, and brought unprecedented attention to women's basketball with her long-range shooting and competitive fire.
We are actually dealing with a Tiger Woods-like phenomenon. Golf had a world full of fans, and then the rest of us showed up.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But interestingly, the rest of us showed up, and everybody was on the same team when it happened.
Her rookie season was remarkable in another way, too. She played every single game, just like she had throughout her college career. The young woman simply didn't get hurt. The Annika Pro-Am is a celebrity golf event held each November before the LPGA's Annika Tournament in Bel Air, Florida. It's named after Annika Sorenstam, one of the greatest golfers in history, and brings together athletes from different sports. Clark first appeared there in 2024, and the crowd response was strong enough that Sorenstam gave her a standing invitation to return whenever she wanted. This year's appearance came at Pelican Golf Club, where Clark played alongside world #2 golfer Nelly Korda and college standout Lauren Gwen. Her Indiana Fever teammates Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull served as her caddies for the day, which added some entertainment value. At the 10th hole, Cunningham and Hull both got a chance to take a swing with Clark's driver Cunningham, who later joked that the last time she hit a golf ball, she killed a squirrel, proceeded to launch her drive straight into the gallery.
Happy Gilmore.
The ball actually hit a fan who fell to the ground. Cunningham immediately ran over to check on him, and fortunately he was fine. He got back on his feet and received a hug, an autographed jersey, and a souvenir golf ball from Cunningham. Clark, watching the whole scene unfold, shouted out, man down," and later posted the moment on her Instagram story with laughing emojis, calling it one of the greatest things she'd ever seen. The incident became even more amusing when several other older gentlemen in the crowd pretended they'd been hit too, even falling to the ground in hopes of getting their own hugs from Cunningham. To understand why Clark's golf appearance mattered, you need to know what happened during the 2025 WNBA season. It was supposed to be her second year, a chance to build on that sensational rookie campaign. Instead, it turned into a medical nightmare. The problem started in May with a left quad injury that kept her out for 5 games. Clark came back, played well for a stretch, then went down again in late June with a left groin sprain that cost her another 5 games, including the Commissioner's Cup final. The Fever had to adjust their entire offensive system each time she left the lineup, which head coach Stephanie White said was particularly challenging because Clark has so much gravity on the court. But the real blow came on July 15th. Clark had just returned from that groin injury and was playing against the Connecticut Sun. In the final minute of what turned out to be an 85-77 Indiana victory, she made a pass and tweaked her right groin. Anyone watching could see how upset she was as she hobbled to the bench. It was a different groin from the previous injury, but somehow that made it worse. This wasn't just bad luck with one problem area. Her body seemed to be breaking down in multiple places. What happened next showed how difficult recovery can be for elite athletes. Clark was ruled out indefinitely and began rehabilitation. The timing was brutal. The All-Star Weekend was scheduled for Indianapolis, her home arena, just a few days later. She had been selected to the All-Star team and was supposed to compete in the three-point contest on Friday night. Instead, she posted a statement on social media saying she was incredibly sad and disappointed, but had to rest her body.
Excellent passing season as well. Her assist numbers. Oh no, Caitlin Clark has yet. So Ryan Howard picks up the foul. Pressure she had on her shoulders coming into the ankle one more time, right? That's rookie seasons and WNBA history.
The entire city had prepared for her moment, with a 30-story image of her displayed on the JW Marriott Hotel downtown. While Clark was rehabbing the groin injury, something else went wrong. On August 7th, during a workout session in Phoenix before a Fever game against the Mercury, she went to make a move and her left ankle rolled completely forward. She later described it as one of the worst sprains she'd ever dealt with. A bone bruise was diagnosed, adding another injury to the list. The Fever organization's handling of the injury news frustrated many fans. Clark's status kept changing without clear explanations. Beat reporters covering the team released conflicting information about whether the ankle injury had affected her return timeline. The franchise issued a vague statement saying there had been no projected return date anyway, so it was impossible to say if anything had been impacted. For fans who had watched Clark play through everything during her college career, the uncertainty was maddening. By late August, there were small signs of progress. Clark was spotted participating in shoot-around before a game in Minneapolis, going through warm-ups and non-contact drills with the second team. It was her first time working with the team since July 15th, but she still wasn't ready to play. The Fever eventually ruled Clark out for the remainder of the regular season and playoffs on September 4th. She had played just 13 games out of 41, averaging 16.5 points, 8.8 assists, and 5 rebounds when she was on the court. The team finished 24-20 and made the playoffs, where they pushed the eventual champion Las Vegas Aces to 5 games in the semifinals. Clark watched from the sidelines, reportedly showing up to morning shoot-arounds to support her teammates, even though she couldn't suit up. At her exit interview in early October, Clark opened up about what the experience had taught her. She talked about how being injured is actually more work than playing, something people don't always realize. There were hard days, she admitted. The isolation was difficult, but she said the experience taught her how to be a better leader and teammate, how to show up for others who might be going through similar struggles.
Not that I've been told. I don't anticipate, a certain level. I'm not a huge fan of minute restrictions. I think that's silly. I told them, I don't want to come back unless I'm 100% full go.
When you're on the bench without a jersey on, she explained, you can observe and learn about people in ways you can't when you're in the heat of competition. WNBA legend Lisa Leslie offered some sobering perspective when asked about Clark's groin injuries. Leslie had suffered similar injuries during her playing career, and she was honest about the long-term outlook. Nearly 2 decades after her playing days ended, Leslie said she could still feel the lingering effects when playing tennis. She didn't think those kinds of injuries ever fully go away. You just learn to manage them and play through the discomfort. Through October, Clark worked her way back gradually. Head coach Stephanie White told reporters in late October that Clark was doing 2-on-2 and 3-on-3 work in Indianapolis, building a foundation to return to 5-on-5 action. White emphasized that nothing was being rushed, that they had plenty of time before the 2026 season to get Clark back to full strength without risking setbacks. White also acknowledged how frustrating the whole process had been for such a competitive athlete. Which brings us back to that golf course in Florida on November the 12th. When Clark spoke to media during the Golf Channel's coverage, she made a point of saying she was feeling back to 100%. She'd been taking advantage of Indianapolis's fall weather to play some golf before it got too cold, and the Florida warmth made it even easier to get outside. Her golf game itself was admittedly rusty. She sliced numerous tee shots to the right, struggled with consistency off the tee, and joked about needing lessons. After 9 holes of wayward drives, she sought advice from Nelly Korda's coach, Jamie Mulligan. Then, with the Golf Channel's cameras rolling for their 3-hour live broadcast, she hit her best drive of the day on the 10th hole. The crowd went wild, and Clark pointed at them in celebration. She followed it up by draining a 35-foot putt for birdie. "That's what keeps you coming back," Clark said afterward. "That's what makes it fun and makes you want to get better and be competitive with it."
Caitlin, you were playing with world #1 Nelly Korda on your first 9. And
yeah, no pressure.
Yeah, that you were playing with Annika Pro-Am on the back 9. So
yeah, I think I'm just excited, honestly. I'm not a professional golfer by any means, so I think just having fun and getting to be with, 2 of the best to, probably ever play this game. It's super fun.
The new LPGA commissioner, Craig Kessler, was there on the first tee to watch hundreds of fans, many wearing Indiana Fever gear, packed around the tee box and followed Clark's group throughout the day. Korda, who played 9 holes with Clark, called the atmosphere on that first tee something out of a book, almost. The energy was electric, even though temperatures were much cooler than the previous year. Clark's return to golf might seem like a minor story compared to basketball, but it represents something important. For someone who has dealt with injury after injury, getting out there and competing in any capacity signals progress. The fact that she felt comfortable enough to swing a club aggressively, even if the results were inconsistent, suggests her body is finally cooperating again. The bigger picture involves the WNBA schedule and player health. Multiple stars dealt with significant injuries during the 2025 season. Liberty forward Jonquel Jones battled ankle problems, All-Star Rhyne Howard suffered a knee injury, and 3 Fever guards, Clark, Cunningham, and Sydney Colson, all sustained season-ending injuries. Some players and coaches have publicly questioned whether the league is adding too many games in too short a time frame. Though league data reportedly doesn't show a significant uptick in injury rates compared to 2024, the concentration of high-profile injuries raised concerns. For Clark specifically, the 2025 season was a harsh lesson about the physical demands of professional basketball. She played through 4 years at Iowa without missing time, and that durability was part of what made her so valuable. Learning to manage her body, to recognize when something needs attention before it becomes serious, may be one of the most important adjustments she makes as a pro. The Annika Pro-Am is scheduled every November, and Annika Sorenstam made clear that Caitlin Clark has a standing invitation to return whenever she wants. Whether Clark takes her up on that offer next year probably depends on how the WNBA season goes. But for now, seeing her back on any kind of athletic stage, healthy and smiling, was a welcome sight after months of uncertainty. What do you think? Will Clark's injury struggles in 2025 change how she approaches the upcoming season, or was this just bad luck that won't repeat itself? Leave your thoughts in the comments below and subscribe for more WNBA coverage throughout the offseason.